It's the last push for the Minnesota Vikings if they want to make the playoffs, and it all starts this Sunday night, New Year's Eve, against the Green Bay Packers at US Bank Stadium. Jaren Hall, officially announced by Kevin O'Connell, is getting the start over Nick Mullins, and it's kind of do or die time. Backs are against the wall. If you want any shot of making the playoffs, you need to win these next two games. You need to get a little bit of help, but
Right.
at the end of the day, for us Vikings fans, still something to look forward to. Rookie quarterback starting again, and I guess it's just to the point. Let's see what he can do, and let's hope he can go out there and beat the hated rival Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. Obviously, I've been calling for Jaren Hall this whole time. Not really because I just know he's gonna be that guy or something like that. I mean he's shown enough where I think there's still a question mark. Like, hey, he could be good, he could not be good, whatever. It doesn't seem like you still at the very least feel like from a floor standpoint, it's gonna be a quality backup quarterback is kind of the vibe you're getting, but who knows, he could be more than that. So I think that's really interesting. So I'm really excited about that. I think it makes me, in a season that's coming down, like, yes, we do have a chance for the playoffs, and like you said, we need to win these next two games, and we need Seattle or the Rams to lose one of their next two games for that to be a possibility for us. And with all the losing we've done lately, losing the Lions, losing the close one to Chicago, in the Broncos, it's been disappointing stretch of recently, and I do think I think with most fans, it's kind of an annoying year. It's it started off terribly, then we had a big up with a 5-game win streak. Everything seems like it was going to change around, anything was possible, and then kind of went back, and I think we've been 1-4 since. And I do think, for me at least, that starting Jaren Hall here and just having that question mark and seeing what he can do kind of makes me a little bit more excited for these final two games, starting with this one specifically. I mean, if he comes in there and he just plays terrible, then it's kind of like, oh, the season is what it is. I guess we're going to be trying to go for a draft pick or whatever, which, I mean, if we lose, the scenario isn't worst. It isn't terrible, because I mean, I think we're already top 10 technically, which is really weird. Like, we're like the 10th spot right now, but we still have a chance for a pretty solid chance for playoffs, with kind of controlling most of our own destiny here. But no, so I kind of have that excitement for this, and I think a lot of fans are going to kind of be the same, because if he does go out there and he beats this Packers team against Sunday night game, so we will be able to see the first games with the Rams and Seattle, and if one of them lose those games, then from then on, after that, it's up to us. We really control our destiny. And really comes down to, like, I think our team goes as far as Jaren Hall can take them at this point, which is putting a lot of pressure on a quarterback's back. But at the same, I mean, it is what it is, and it'll be interesting if it comes out. I'm hoping that we see one of those teams lose. So then it's like, let's see if Jaren Hall really steps up, because if he does and he goes into this Packers Stadium, or not Packers Stadium, this is home game, right? Yeah, because we already beat them. If we end up just beating the Packers and he plays a really good game, I mean, you're going to feel it could literally switch everything in everybody's mind just like that, and bring a lot of an excitement if you see a good game by him beating the Packers and knowing all you have to do is beat Detroit to go to playoffs, and you feel a little bit more confident with your quarterback. So I'm just so excited for Jaren Hall. I think it was the right choice. I thought KOC was going to make it. He takes a little bit longer than I like to make that decision, but it seems like when push comes to shove, he will ultimately just make the change if he feels like he has to, and he finally
as you always say, he makes the boldest decisions when he's behind. And at this point, we're behind in the playoffs, outside looking in. We need to make something happen. And as he's shown us in his play calling too, when back's against the wall, he's able to cook something up. So I do think that's really kind of where the decision comes from. As he mentioned in his press conference today, he said he thought Nick Mullins was explosive, able to move the ball down the field, but we have to possess the football, and he just wasn't. Unfortunately, he was just making too many boneheaded mistakes, and that just wasn't happening. But it's really a tough spot, though. You got a rookie quarterback who had his first starting experience against Atlanta, obviously lasted 2 drives before the concussion, and now he plays last game of 2023, New Year's Eve night, national television. The spotlight's going to be on. It's going to be a very high watched game, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
And it's what a spot for the young guy to come in and play. And you just got to hope that the moment isn't too big for him. And honestly, I do think that Atlanta game was probably good for him in the long run. Like, yes, obviously the concussion, which obviously those are never good, but the fact that he got into a game and he saw what can happen when you try to do too much at one time and don't just take what's in front of you. And it could end up being the wrong decision and cost you a game and cost you a couple games like it did for him. So I honestly think that was a really good experience for him to kind of go through that, realize, and he said that today, he's like, you don't need to make every play all in one play. Like, that's what you have 4 downs for. He's like, I be smarter about that. And I've learned. So I think that's good for him. And it's going to be a tough spot, though, because, I mean, everyone's excited to see him play. But when you look at the Packers, it looks like overall they are 13th in the league in passing defense, allowing 216 yards per game. But honestly, as exciting as it is going to be to watch Jaren Hall, you got to run against his team. They're allowing 135.9 yards per game. It's 30th in the NFL. We said, I mean, they've been bad against the run all year long. Their defense started off kind of solid. Now they're kind of coming back down to earth a little bit. In the passing game, no Jair Alexander, so you can pick away at him there. But I do think last game we didn't run enough. We had 17 rushing yards total. I do think this needs to be a big Ty Chandler game. I think you got to get him involved early and often to, again, pull the defense up and then maybe give Jaren Hall some easier looks in the passing game. So I think the first step is going to be establishing that run. Probably, and again, you want to protect your rookie quarterback. You don't want him to have to drop back 50 times in his first official, or, I guess, second start, but what you hope to be his first full start. So, I mean, yeah, this is a team. You got to establish the run first, and it's only going to make things easier for the young quarterback, especially, the Cowboys defense is down, or the Packers defense is down some players, but Vikings offense is down some players as well. No TJ, Addison still dings up. So really JJ, KJ are kind of your only two proven guys. You got Powell there as well. But yeah, man, I think the game plan, like I said, needs to be run the ball and make it easier to open up the passing game for Jaren Hall.
Yep. And then, yeah, like you said, I mean, you do have Justin Jefferson. You have the best wide receiver in the league, and I think he proved that to us fans again, and hopefully change some minds of the fans that want to trade Justin Jefferson or whatever, because you don't find those guys off the street. You're lucky to find one in the first round. You're lucky to find that guy anywhere. The way he was able to catch that third and like 20, the way he did, it reminded you of the catch in the Bills game last year a little bit, and it's just something special that only the absolutely elite of the elite make plays like that in big moments, and you're not even the quarterback, you're the receiver doing that. So that's huge. And again, in this game without Jair Alexander, even though I know all of us were excited for him to go in there and just destroy him as Jordan Addison did earlier in the season, but without him there, I mean, that's a huge hole for them. And like you said, like, they're one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL this year, and we need to do that first. I agree with you. It's got to be Ty Chandler. We got to get the ball on the ground running, and set up the pass with a team that doesn't have Jair Alexander, and it shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, he's by far the best cornerback on that team, and I mean, arguably one of the better ones in the entire NFL. So I mean, that's going to be huge. We're going to be able to attack them from that side as well. And I wanted to bring up the injury report real quick, because you did mention Jordan Addison, and we did get Wednesday did not participate with two. So this is a pretty big update from Wednesday to Thursday, with Jordan Addison and Mekhi Blackmon being limited participation, which is really good, because it's not sounding like Byron Murphy's going to end up playing this game. I know Caleb Evans is not going to be benched, and he's going to play that game, so we'll be able to see him. Hopefully he has a bounce-back game. And then Theo Jackson, Joquelin Roy, Jalen Naylor did not participate. And then Sheldon Day, Troy Dye, Alexander Madison, all limited. Harrison Phillips went from limited to full. Brian O'Neill's full, so we're probably going to see him. And then Ivan Pace Jr. is probably going to be good to go. So that's huge for us. I mean, seeing Jordan Addison is limited, I have a feeling that we are going to see him on the field. I have a feeling that we are going to see Blackmon on the field. And I do think with Addison in there and Justin Jefferson, it's going to create some headaches for that Packers defense, especially without Alexander. On the other side of the ball, they just have Campbell did not participate. The list is long for both teams.
Actually, they have more there at the bottom. I don't think
Christian Watson probably isn't going to play
either. So
Wicks, I know they had a lot. Jaden Reed was out last week, limited this week, so it'll be interesting. I think does he practice? Well, he limited. Never mind. What am I talking about?
He practiced today.
Oh, by the way, we were talking about tight ends. Luke Musgrave is the rookie tight end. Remember, we were talking about it.
I think they said he just came back off of injury. So
yeah. So
then obviously, it's another big one too. Devondre Campbell, Sky Uma, by the way, former Gopher, did not participate, and he's a big factor on that defense as well.
Right.
So I mean, really, this game comes down to three players, right? Jaren Hall being smart and being safe with the football, getting Ty Chandler involved, and obviously you gotta. I know it's going to be tough to pass against this team, and you don't want to put a rookie quarterback in some bad spots, but I think early and often you got to get the ball into Justin Jefferson's hands, no matter which way possible. And not only just because he's on my fantasy team, but
Yeah.
because you need to get him involved if you want to win this football game. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of what I think for an offensive perspective for the Vikes. Any other thoughts you had before you flip it?
No, I think you hit it on the button there. Get Justin Jefferson the ball. If Jordan Addison is there, use him as well with Justin Jefferson. Going to get coverage, especially with Alexander not in here. You're not going to get a guy who's going to be able to cover JJ or even try a one-on-one. So they're going to have to do some double coverage here, which is going to lead our guys like KJ and Addison open. So take advantage of that. And then, get Ty Chandler going. And at the end of the day, our offense, it's going to, no matter what, the talent's there, even without Hawkinson. The blocking is there for the most part. It's going to come down to Jaren Hall and how he manages this offense. And I do think even though it could be boring, I don't know for sure if it's going to be boring because who knows how he's going to. We haven't really seen him play a full game or whatever.
I mean,
so we don't know.
I do think you need to kind of unlock him a little bit though, because I mean, your backs are against the wall. You can't be too safe, you know?
Yeah, you can't be too safe. Yeah, don't play conservative, but you do have to think like we can go win this game if there's just no mistakes. I don't think you should play like that specifically, like, oh, just don't make any mistakes. But if he can do that, I think we win this. I think we win this game. If we win the turnover battle, I think we win this game ultimately. But outside of that, what do you think on defense? How are you looking at those matchups over there?
I mean, I think they're gonna come into this with the same type of game plan, run the ball. Because I mean, Aaron Jones was healthy again last week.
Yep.
Obviously, they also have AJ Dillon back there as
he's
well.
On limited.
Yep.
I don't know what his outcome is looking like. He probably will play, but
a little bit dinged up. But I mean, those are two really good, explosive running backs. Obviously, they like to use Aaron Jones in a ton of ways, and that can open up things for everybody else. But with no Christian Watson or Dontavian Wicks, it just kind of leaves you with having to worry about Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs, who are both two solid receivers. But I mean, I think we can handle them. Our cornerbacks, obviously have been shaky as of late, especially now with having no Byron Murphy. It's going to be, and with having Mekhi Blackman a little bit dinged up, and Caleb Evans recently benched. Hopefully that lights a fire under him. But yeah, I think from a defensive perspective, we have to limit the run, and just like we always say, get after, obviously unleash Daniil. It's going to be difficult not having DJ Wanham across from him now, and still no Marcus Davenport. So we're going to need a big Daniil. We're going to need a big game from Daniil Hunter and Ivan Pace, I feel like.
Yeah, 100%. And back to the point with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, if AJ Dillon plays. I mean, last week it was not pretty defensive game against Gibbs. We allowed 2 touchdowns to him, and then we allowed Montgomery to eat up the middle. And I mean, you're talking about if there's another running back duo that you could compare this to, it is going to be this Packers. They seem to they've lost their steam a little bit, I think, this year for sure, but it's similar. I mean, you're going to put AJ Dillon, he's strong, go up the middle, and then Aaron Jones can kind of do a little bit of everything, kind of like Gibbs. And that's something we're going to have to worry about because we did not handle that very well last week. Though in this game, like you said, don't get me wrong. Without Watson, I'm not really afraid of Watson anyways, but you do take the big, fast guy off this team. So you don't have to worry about that. You're not as concerned deep anymore. And you do have to worry about Reed, though. I mean, the rookie wide receiver, he's been, as good as you could have asked as a second round wide receiver. I mean, he's a little bit of gadget, can do a little bit of everything too. I mean, they're using him deep. They're using him for screens. He's just doing a little bit of everything. So I do think he's an important player that we're going to have to watch there. And then Dobbs is just, he's a solid receiver. If Musgrave comes back, obviously another solid tight end rookie. All these guys are really young. So I'm not too worried about them in that area. I would be mostly worried about the run game. But I would say overall, compared to the Detroit Lions offense, it's pretty weak, especially without Watson there. Mm-hmm. So I do think, we should be able to handle that pretty well on defense. I'm not afraid of this matchup from that perspective. And then, of course, with Jordan Love, he's had his up and downs. He's had some really good games. You do have to worry about that. You do have to worry about his arm. But we do know if you get pressure on him, and you just know that he definitely can make some mistakes. He's definitely been prone for mistakes in these last few weeks. He had that little stretch where he was looking really good, but these last couple of weeks, he has kind of shown that a little bit more again. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we can go in there and, like you said, bring Daniil Hunter and Ivan Pace and kind of bring the pressure so he makes mistakes there and just not let him beat us with the run game. And kind of I think if you, from passing wise, if Reed plays, keep him in check, and I think you're good, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and the big thing with Jordan Love is he does have a little bit of an overthrowing problem. He likes when he
Yeah.
a lot of his misses are over the top of his receivers. But anyway, this is gonna be a fun one. Big game again. New Year's Eve, last game of 2023. It's a big one. Vikings need to win it. Do we win it? What's your score prediction?
Score predictions. I think we do. Again, I it comes over for turnovers. A lot of people are probably going to pick the Packers. Like even the Lions. Like I think we could have definitely beat them, but we had
should have beat the
4
Lions, yeah.
interceptions. Like that's just the reality. We had 4
Yep.
interceptions. It wasn't. It's not so simple. Like these are just a better team. It's just not like that. It's just not it. So I do think we can beat this Packers team for sure if we limit the turnovers. And I do think Jaren Hall is going to be the one to come in, and I think he's going to take care of the ball. Maybe we don't see 300 yards, 400 yards out of him, but I do think he's going to take care of the ball. I think that's going to be enough for us to win. So I got us winning 24-17. And I know on our last stream, we kind of gave Jaren Hall ones as well. And my thing with Jaren Hall is I don't think he's going to have any turnovers.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he's going to be really careful with the football, no fumbling, no ugly interceptions or anything like that. I also do think we pull this one off 24-21. Greg Joseph game-winning field goal. I'll call it till it happens or until he's not on this team anymore. We'll see which one comes first. But yeah, I think the Vikings pull it out and keep the playoff hopes alive. We want to know your guys' thoughts, though. Drop your thoughts, score predictions in the comment section, and we'll see you guys next time right here on the GG Sports Podcast.
Skol Vikes.